Good morning, sir. This is Christy Mariam Isa, PR16 CS 1012. The program is for the lamports algorithm called lamports algorithm, logical clock algorithm. It is used to set the critical session. Who are the preference to the critical session? Get into the critical session, and it is based on the timestamp value. Which have the highest timestamp, then it should be get into the first into the critical session, and the other one how to wait it in the queue. And here we have to set the critical session for finding the maximum value among the timestamp values of two timestamp values. We have set a function called max, that is this is sixth line, a max of into value of 1 and into value 2, and among which one have the highest value, then it should be get into the critical section first, and the other one have to wait it in the queue for the completion of the first one and get into the main program. And we have to say, we already said that we are setting two timestamps for each of the process, and we have to set it array for the timestamp 1 and timestamp 2, and also we have to set array for the local one of location 1 of S and location 1 of D and location 2 of S and location 2 of D. And we have to set a choice for the choice array for the C and choice array into C, and we have to initialize as N, M, O and CH, and N is for the end, N is for the number of processes for event 1, and M for number of processes for event 2, and is O for number of communication events. And we have to enter in the, we have to give the locations for communications from each of the processor, and we have to set a choice for it, and it is set into the CH. We have to enter 1 for the communication from process 1 to 2 and 2 for the communication from process 2 to 1. In the first case, we have to set a switch cases here, and in the first case, when we enter 2, when we have to enter 1 for it, if the choice is 1, then we have to enter 2 locations from I plus 1 to communication. That means they have to set 2 locations for the first the communication 1 to 2 communication, process 1 to 2 communication, and we have to store the locations into the location 1 of S of I and location 1 of D of I. And if the choice is 2, then we have to enter the location 2 locations for the communication process from process 2 to 1, and it is stored into location 2 of S of S and location 2 of D. And we have to then we have to set the timestamp values first for timestamp values as a 1 and timestamp values 2 as a 1 also, and it initializes q equal to 0, p equal to 0, w equal to 2 and x equal to 2, and also y and z equal to 0. And this is when we have to enter into a large loop, and this loop is continued till the last till almost last, while q less than O plus 1, where O is the communication event numbers. Now if we have selected how many communication, then it is incremented by plus 1 is checked for the while loop, and inside the while loop another while loop called while loop, where we have to check any one of the conditions should be true, that when is W less than or equal to N and X less than or equal to M, any one of the condition is true, then we have to enter into this while. Inside the while loop, we have to check whether if W less than or equal to N, then we have to set the timestamp of W as timestamp of the previous one plus 1 and increment the value of W. And the other condition and the second OR and the OR condition second one, if it is there, then we have to check it also. If X less than or equal to M, then we have to set the timestamp of 2 as the previous timestamp of previous 1 plus 1 and increment the value of X also. This is inside the while condition, this while condition. After this, we have to quit from this while loop, and after then we have to enter into another while loop where while p less than or equal to less than O, and we have to set it switch for switch with the communication events processes. Then here also there is 2 condition. This is to identify. This is to set the this loop is mainly switch is used to set which the maximum timestamp with into the critical session. And for this purpose, we have to if we select the timestamp which have the maximum times process will have the maximum times. For that case, we have to use this loop while p less than O. Inside the loop we have to set a switch condition. There is 2 cases, case 1 and case 2. Case 1 is case 1 and case 2 is the reverse of the case 1 or case 1. This is to understand. And for case 1 we have to check for the first event that for w equal to 2, w less than or equal to, and we have to get into the for check with the for x equal to 2 and x less than or equal to m. And if the condition be if w equal to location 1 of x of y and x equal to location 1 of d of z, then we have to set, go for the function called max, and to set the we have to set the timestamp value of x, timestamp 2 of x. This is used to set the timestamp 2 of x here, and we have to check which one has the highest value, that is among timestamp 1 of x plus 1 and timestamp 2 of x plus 1, which one have the highest value, then it should be loaded into the timestamp 2 of x. And increment then we have to increment the value of y and this, because we use the loop. Here we are using a loop, and this value become incremented in each case, and y incremented and z increment. Then we have to set x equal to location 1 d of z minus 1 plus 1, and we have to set w equal to 1. And the reverse process is done in the second case, and in the second case for x equal to 2. For the first case this w equal to 2, w equal to w less than or equal to n, and here it is becomes for x equal to 2 and x less than, we have to condition x less than or equal to, and the second condition for w equal to 2, w less than or equal to, and this was the second time for identify the first timestamp of x. T is 1 on w, and we also call the max function, and increment y plus y and z again, and we have to set the value of, here we set the value of x, and here we have to set the location of w, location 2 d of z minus 1 plus 1, and then set x equal to m, and we have to get out from the loop while p less than or equal to by incrementing the value of p after incrementing value of, and also we have to come out from the while condition q less than or equal to p plus 1, where after incrementing, and it is incremented there and after incremented. Whenever the condition is failed, that means the communication event greater than communication 1 increment by 1, then the condition is failed, and we have to get from the while loop also. Then this is used to print the output of the output of the result. This is process 1 and process 2, and it's the event, the process 1 is the time and timestamp and event, and also for the process 2 is the event and timestamp. This that's all the program code. Then we have to check them with the output. First is the number, we have to enter number of processes for event 1. Here I am entering two processes, and the number of processes for event 2, I am entering again 3 processes. Then number of communication events, it is used to identify the timestamp, and easy for the timestamp, setting the timestamp, and we have to set a number of communication events. Here I am given 4 communication events. Said for the enter 1, then there is comes the first question, and 1 for communication from process 1 to 2, and 2 for communication from process 2 to 1. Then we have to enter into the first switch cases. Then we have to set I would like, and then I set the choice 1 for first case, and we have to enter, there is a 4, and we have to choose, there is the choice is for 4, and we have to 4 times we have to do this repeated this loop. And first for the first event, communication event, I got to choice 1 and enter 2 locations for the first communication. I entered 2 and 3. Then again the question is repeated, and I would like to enter 2 locations to the first communication event. From the first set also I entered 1 and first answer, and then I entered 1. Now it is become, I would like to give 2 1, then it is becomes 2. You set for the 2 second condition, that means 2 to 1 process 2 to 1. Again the choices there, and the output is gained as there is total communication becomes E11 1, E12 2, and E21 2 3. This 3 and 1 2 3 is these all values are set from the location we already given on the table, and this all about the Lambert's algorithm, and it is used, the Lambert's algorithm is used to set the priority and set the priority by timestamp, and if the timestamp with the highest priority is entered to the critical section first, and the other one how to the other one how to wait at the queue after completion of the first process which have the highest timestamp. That's all about the Lambert's logical clock program. Thank you, sir.